Hi guys, this is Sid from Riverdance Gold Mining, and I want to show you how to configure and deconfigure the aluminum two-stage Riverdance Mini-Jig, and so I'm going to show you that right now. All right, first of all, when you get this thing, it's going to come in two separate boxes. You're going to want to get the second stage attachment out and put it down first. When you get it out of the box and you take the wrapping off, this is what the second stage attachment is going to look like. It's got a bolt and washers and nut on the top of the rod end bearing to connect to the upper drive link, and it has a bolt through the frame in the back that just kind of looks like it's hanging there. You're going to need that, and then you have a bolt in either side front top frame. You're gonna need those to help connect the frame together. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 connecting points to configure this into a two-stage system. All right, I got it out of the box. Now, before I set it on top, I've got to take these bolts out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably should have done that before I got it out of the box, but let's do it now. Here are the type of fasteners you're going to have to take off. We've got a button cap socket, machine screw, and just a regular hex bolt. And this is a 1/4 inch hex bolt, so it has a 7/16 inch head, and the nut is also 7/16. And this has a 7/16 nut on it as well. It's also a 1/4 inch bolt. So 3/16 inch hex head or hex wrench and a 7/16 inch wrench. So when you're setting the frame on here, you have to manage this drive link. Make sure it doesn't get pushed outside the frame. It can end up on the outside of the frame. You want to make sure you guide it to the inside. Okay, once you line this up, you're going to take these bolts out. If you'll notice on the Riverdance Mini-Jig, it comes with a sleeve on each front leg with a bolt through it. Take these bolts out and the sleeve drops down. So I'm going to show you that right now. Get out of the way while I'm doing this. Okay, and that sleeve just drops right down. I take the same bolt, put it back through the top hole of the sleeve. It's the same hole you just pulled it out of on that top leg, and then take one of the bolts that you took out from down here and put it through. All right, fasten those together. Now this one down here, I point it with the button head on the outside of the frame and the nut on the inside of the frame. That's purely for aesthetics because the button heads have a lower profile and the other one's pointing that way, so this one points this way. If you want to spin that around to make it easier to get to, because you're going to find that if you're using a socket, you're not going to be able to get that on there easily because of this wing nut. Either take the wing nut off or just turn that around. You're not going to hurt anything by doing that, so that's totally up to you. And then just cinch these down. But before you cinch them down all the way, you're going to want to make sure we get this bolt back here and do the same, what we just did to that side to the other side. So let's do that. I'm going to put this bolt through, put a washer on it. Put it through here. Might be a little tricky to find that hole in here. So poke it through a little bit and then let the bolt guide you to the hole. There we go. And again, same washer, flat washer and nut. These are self-locking nuts. You don't need a lock washer. All right, I'm gonna get the last one. When you put this machine screw through the rod end bearing, don't put a washer on it. Put it through the rod end bearing, and then you're going to put a washer on it. You're going to have a washer on either side of the flange that it goes through, the tab. So it's just 2 washers, one on either side of the tab, and then the nut. Okay, I've got all the bolts in now. Mount bolt in the back for the frame, 2 on each side for the sleeve, and the drive link bolt connecting it all together. Now I just got to tighten those down and this thing will be ready to run. All right, now that we have that all linked together, we have the chute to guide the underflow from each of these. The concentrates that result from this first stage have to flow into this second stage. So that's what this fun little guy is for. And it feeds in from the front, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to push the drive cam to its highest position to raise this underflow tube to give enough clearance. And there's a long side and a short side, and the long side has this little loop underneath. You're going to want to feed it in long side first through the front under this frame right over the tray. And I'm going to step over here and do that. In fact, I'm going to turn this around so it might be a little easier to show. So again, long side first. We're going to go under the frame, right on top of the tray. Got it right through here. There's a tab on the back of the tray that this loop fits in. So set it all the way through here, past the tab, and then slide it back, guiding that little loop down onto it. You might have to wiggle it back and forth a little bit to get it in there, but once it sits on there, it'll be nice and snug, and it's not going to go any. Okay, here's something new I think you're all really going to like. This aluminum version has a 3-way switch. You can select between DC battery power, which is the alligator clips, or an AC adapter delivering DC power, which there's a connecting point right under here, and you get one of these fancy AC adapters, plug it in, and then you can plug it into the wall and not have to worry about your battery. All right, so taking it apart, deconfiguring it so you can run either for storage or you can just run the single stage duplex jig. You're gonna just take out the frame bolts. There's the one in the back here. There's these 2 here. Slide the sleeve up and put 1 bolt back in to hold it in place. Do that on both sides, and take the drive link bolt out down here. And you'll have to take this, actually you could just leave that on there if you're not gonna be storing it, you know, that can stay on the second stage attachment. But I'm gonna show you how to do it. First I'm going to, well, I pulled that bolt out, but then I'm gonna pull this out. So I'm gonna push this to the up position, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So this comes loose. All right, trying to do this one-handed is fun. And then just slide it back out the front, just opposite of how you did it before. And then I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these up, take them off camera, and take that one off. And once I do that, I'll show you the rest. This is what it looks like in the deconfiguration mode, ready to separate. So sleeve is in the up position on both sides. The bolt back here is out and the drive link is disconnected and the chute is off. So this is what it looks like when you first made them together, and this is what it should look like when you go to separate them. All right, now the Riverdance Mini-Jig is ready to operate on its own. You don't have to do anything else to it. Just hook up the water and power and you're ready to roll. And the second stage attachment is ready to be used again or be stored. All right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Riverdance Gold Mining. Remember that name.